Most gardeners think the growing season is winding down in August. They pack up. They stop planting. They let the second half of the year go to waste. That's the single most expensive mistake I see every single August, and it's costing people an entire second harvest they didn't even know they could have. Because here's the truth. There are at least 9 vegetables you can plant right now this month that will still give you a full harvest before the season ends, some of them faster than you'd ever expect. And if you miss this window, you're not just missing a harvest. You're leaving free food on the table. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to plant, when to plant it, and how to get a second full harvest out of a garden most people think is already done for the year. Welcome back to Thrifty Root Garden. If you're new here, this channel is all about growing more and spending less. No expensive equipment, no wasted trips to the garden center, just practical ways to get a real harvest without a real budget behind it. August is a strange month for a lot of gardeners. Spring planting is a distant memory. The summer harvest is winding down, and there's this assumption that if you didn't plant it by June, you missed your shot. That assumption is wrong, and it's an expensive one, because it means paying full price at the grocery store for vegetables you could still be growing for free right now. The vegetables on this list were chosen for one reason. They all have a short enough time to harvest that planting them in August still gets you a full crop before your first frost, no matter where you're gardening. I'll flag which ones need extra attention, depending on your climate as we go. Let's get into it. Number 1. Bush beans. Bush beans are one of the fastest vegetables you can put in the ground, typically ready in 50 to 55 days. Planted in early August, that puts your harvest right around late September, well within reach for most growing zones. They don't need trellising like pole beans, which makes them a genuinely zero-cost crop if you're using leftover seed from a spring planting. Keep the soil consistently moist while the seedlings establish, and you'll have a second bean harvest before the season's even close to over. Number 2. Bush cucumbers. Cucumbers get a bad reputation as a spring-only crop, but a compact bush variety planted in early August will size up in about 50 to 60 days. The trick here is heat management. Cucumbers planted in the peak of August heat benefit from light afternoon shade for the first couple of weeks while roots establish. After that, they take off fast, and because they're a vining crop, a handful of seeds can realistically outproduce what you'd spend buying cucumbers at the store for the rest of the season. Number 3. Carrots. Carrots are one of the most underrated August crops because most people associate them with spring planting only. But a fall carrot crop, planted in early to mid-August, actually tends to taste sweeter. The cooler fall temperatures trigger the plant to convert starches into sugar as a natural frost defense. Direct southeast, carrots don't transplant well. Keep the top inch of soil consistently damp until germination, which is the single biggest point of failure for carrots at this time of year. Number 4. Bush zucchini and summer squash. If your spring squash has slowed down or succumbed to pests, August is your reset button. A second planting sidesteps most of the pest pressure that builds up over a full season, since a lot of squash-specific pests peak in early to mid-summer and decline by the time a fresh planting is establishing. You'll get a cleaner harvest with less intervention than your spring planting needed. Number 5. Kale. Kale is about as forgiving as vegetables get, and planting it in August means it'll be maturing right as the weather cools, which is exactly when kale tastes best. Like carrots, a light frost actually improves the flavor by triggering the same sugar conversion response. This is a crop you can keep harvesting from for weeks, cutting outer leaves while the plant keeps producing from the center. Number 6. Broccoli. Broccoli started from transplants in early August will typically head up in 60 to 70 days, putting your harvest in the cooler part of fall when broccoli genuinely performs better than it does in spring heat. Broccoli bolts, meaning it flowers prematurely and ruins the harvest when it experiences heat stress. So a fall crop that matures into cooling temperatures tends to be far more reliable than a spring planting fighting rising heat. At the whole way. Number 7. Beets. Beets are a 2-for-1 crop. You get the root, and you get edible greens along the way that can be harvested without stopping the root from developing. Direct sow in August for a harvest roughly 50 to 60 days out. Like carrots, consistent moisture during germination is the make or break factor. A dry spell in the first 2 weeks is the most common reason a beet planting fails. Number 8. Radishes. If you want the fastest possible payoff on this list, radishes are it. Some varieties are ready in as little as 25 to 30 days. That means you can succession plant radishes multiple times through August and September, essentially turning one small bed into several harvests before the season ends. They're about as close to a zero-effort crop as vegetable gardening gets. Number 9. Lettuce and leafy greens. Lettuce planted in spring often bolts and turns bitter once summer heat sets in. Planted in August instead, it matures right as temperatures drop, which is exactly the growing condition lettuce prefers. A loose leaf variety lets you harvest outer leaves continuously rather than waiting for a single head, stretching one planting into weeks of salads. If you're getting value out of this, take 30 seconds and subscribe. I put out a new video like this every week, and if you're trying to get more out of your garden without spending more money, that's exactly what this channel is built around. Also, drop a comment below and tell me your growing zone. It genuinely changes which of these 9 still have time to mature before your first frost, and I read every comment. Quick recap before we wrap up. Your August planting list: bush beans, bush cucumbers, carrots, zucchini and summer squash, kale, broccoli, beets, radishes and lettuce or leafy greens. Every one of these has a short enough days to maturity window to give you a real harvest before the season ends, and every one of them can be grown from seed you may already have leftover from spring, which means this entire ZUCCHINI harvest can cost you close to nothing. That's it for this one. If this saved you from wasting the rest of your growing season, do me a favor and hit like. It's the single biggest thing that helps this channel reach more people trying to garden on a real budget. And if you want to know exactly what to plant next month too, subscribe so you don't miss it. I'll see you in the next one.